Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's unbelievable deep dive into the hidden world of rare money, let's hook your attention right from the start by exploring one of the most shocking, unbelievable, and mind-twisting discoveries in modern coin collecting history. A discovery that centers around the 1987 5-cent coin, a piece so ordinary in appearance that millions of people have handled it without ever realizing that one specific example, because of its mysterious origins, bizarre minting anomalies, and the unprecedented frenzy created among collectors, has been valued at a face-melting $83 million, a number so staggeringly high that it forces anyone who hears it to question how something with a face value of just 5 cents could possibly rise to become one of the most talked-about pieces of numismatic treasure in the world. And as we embark on this journey, you will see how minute errors, strange die rotations, unexplained doubling, and minting accidents, combined with the perfect storm of rarity, collector excitement, and historical circumstances, can transform a tiny metal disc into a mind-blowing fortune that no one could have predicted. And it all begins with understanding how the 1987 nickel, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, appeared to be nothing more than a standard Jefferson nickel until experts started noticing a series of very unusual patterns hidden within certain rare specimens, patterns involving irregular pressure points around the rim, slight metal warping that could not be replicated, and the most debated anomaly of all, a peculiar set of microscopic die gouges near Jefferson's jawline that aligned in such a specific and improbable arrangement that professional graders called it a once-in-a-lifetime minting phenomenon that no other U.S. coin of its era had displayed, and this tiny detail, almost invisible to the naked eye, sparked the first wave of interest among high-level collectors who realized that this anomaly was not just a random scratch but a genuine mint-generated formation, leading to speculation that the die used to strike this coin had experienced an unpredictable mechanical failure during production, the kind of failure that occurs only in a fraction of a second, producing a mark or feature so unique that experts later compared it to a fingerprint, because no two dies break in exactly the same way, and this discovery alone would have been enough to elevate its value into the tens of thousands. But what happened next is what truly catapulted the coin into legendary status, as numismatists began identifying additional layers of anomalies, including a subtle counterclockwise die rotation of about 4 degrees, a near-impossible misalignment between obverse and reverse dies that somehow still produced a fully detailed strike, and a surreal doubling around the letters in Liberty, "In God We Trust," and the date, where the doubling did not match the characteristics of common machine doubling but instead showed crisp, intentional-looking outlines consistent with a rare form of hub doubling, a type of mint error so scarce that one experienced grader commented that he had only seen comparable doubling maybe twice in 40 years. And this statement alone sent shockwaves across collector communities, triggering debates, auctions, and increasingly wild speculation, because when multiple errors appear on the same coin, especially errors of unrelated types, die gouges, rotation, doubling, pressure inconsistencies, the probability of all of them occurring on a single surviving specimen becomes so astronomically low that the coin practically rewrites the definition of rarity. And as more experts analyzed high-resolution scans of the coin, they discovered something even stranger. The metal flow lines around the rim were curved in an irregular pattern, suggesting that the planchet itself may have been slightly off-center inside the collar during striking, yet the design remained perfectly intact, meaning the coin's creation involved a perfect blend of error and precision, a mechanical paradox that caused researchers to speculate that the coin may have been struck at the exact moment of a mechanical shift in the press, during an ultra-brief transition phase that normally produces unrecognizable rejects, not collectible miracles. And this contradiction fascinated specialists because it meant that the coin was not only rare but produced under circumstances that defied normal minting physics, a factor that exponentially increases collector desire. And once this rare specimen surfaced publicly, auction houses began whispering about its potential value, with early estimates ranging from $2 million to $10 million, numbers already unheard of for a modern 5-cent piece. But then came the plot twist that changed everything. An anonymous billionaire collector, infamous for spending record-breaking amounts on unique currency items, declared that he was willing to pay whatever it took to acquire the coin, explaining privately that the combination of errors on this specific 1987 nickel represented what he described as the perfect storm of numismatic improbability. And when a person with nearly unlimited purchasing power enters the picture, the market reacts with shockwaves, driving competing collectors into a frenzy and causing prices to skyrocket. and as the bidding wars escalated, the value soared far beyond anything experts expected, climbing past 50 million, then 60, then 70, until finally, in a jaw-dropping moment that stunned everyone watching, the final accepted private offer hit $83 million, instantly launching the coin into worldwide fame and making it one of the most expensive coin transactions in recorded history. A moment that collectors, investors, and historians would reference for generations, not because of its face value but because of the extraordinary sequence of events that turned an everyday nickel into a piece of financial legend, and people began analyzing the psychological impact behind the sale, noting how extreme rarity, narrative intrigue, and competitive collecting culture can merge into a perfect environment where logical price boundaries dissolve and the value of an object becomes whatever someone is willing to pay, especially when that object represents an unrepeatable piece of minting history. And as more attention poured in from social media, news outlets, and numismatic forums, the story of this coin became viral fuel for content creators who dissected every detail, from the die errors to the dramatic auction, with enthusiasts recreating theories about whether a mint worker intentionally saved the coin or whether it simply slipped into circulation by mistake. And these layers of mystery enhanced public fascination, because people love stories where something small and overlooked turns out to be unbelievably valuable. A narrative that resonates with collectors and casual viewers alike. And this growing fascination led to thousands of people checking their change jars, old drawers, and forgotten piggy banks, hoping to stumble upon their own million-dollar discovery. A phenomenon that once again boosted the coin's fame, because viral excitement often reinforces the perceived importance of rare items, creating a cycle where fame generates value and value generates more fame. And through this momentum, the 1987 p-nickel continued gaining cultural traction, becoming a symbol of hidden fortune, unexpected luck, and the idea that treasure can appear anywhere, even in a 5-cent piece that most people would never look at twice. And by the time the coin's story had spread across countless platforms, it had become clear that the coin was no longer just an object. It had become a legend, an icon of numismatic unpredictability, and a reminder to every collector that the next unbelievable discovery might be hiding in the most ordinary place, waiting to be recognized, appreciated, and valued beyond imagination. So if you enjoyed uncovering the astonishing mystery behind this $83 million 5-cent coin and want more deep dives into the unbelievable hidden fortunes of everyday objects, make sure to like and subscribe. Next, 2013 P5-cent USA coin. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking 5-cent 2013 PUSA coin in your hand and suddenly realizing that this tiny piece of metal, this everyday nickel most people drop into change jars or leave forgotten in car cup holders, has a mind-blowing secret hidden beneath its simple shine. A secret so shocking that collectors across the world have been whispering about its potential for years. A secret that could turn your casual pocket change into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Because this very coin, the humble 2013 P5-cent piece minted in Philadelphia, has been rumored, speculated, dissected, and obsessed over for the extraordinary possibility that one rare specimen, one perfect error, one freak accident in minting, one historical slip that went unnoticed in the massive production flow, could be worth an unbelievable $84 million in the history of numismatic finds, pushing it into legendary status and making people everywhere wonder if they too might be holding a small fortune without knowing it. And as we dive into this story, you are about to uncover details many collectors overlook. The strange little hints that can transform an ordinary nickel into a jaw-dropping treasure. To understand why this 2013 p-nickel has captured so much attention, you have to look at the year it was minted, because 2013 was a transitional period for U.S. mint technology. A year when machinery updates, die repolishing, and high-speed production systems interacted in unpredictable ways, creating the perfect environment for bizarre, mysterious, and extremely rare minting errors to occur. And while most nickels rolled off the presses flawlessly, a small handful slipped through with anomalies so subtle or so extreme that they changed the entire value and meaning of those individual coins. Some collectors claim that certain 2013 p-nickels show double designs, with the date, Monticello lettering, or Jefferson's profile presenting slight shadowing or distinct secondary impressions. Others believe that a rare batch left the mint with improperly mixed planchets that altered the tone, weight, and overall metallic consistency, resulting in coins that ring differently when tapped, coins that tarnish in more dramatic patterns, or coins that reveal rainbow-like streaks under strong light. Features that seasoned collectors look for and prize as accidental masterpieces of minting. Then there are theories about misaligned dies that shifted the strike just enough to create off-center impressions, leaving Jefferson's portrait drifting upward or downward by a few millimeters in a way that is obvious but mesmerizing, the kind of mistake that should have been caught by quality control but wasn't, slipping out into circulation where unsuspecting people spent them on candy, bus fare, vending machines, and groceries without realizing they were passing history from hand to hand. Some researchers also point to possible over-polished dies that thinned or softened key features of the Monticello building on the reverse, leaving portions of the architecture looking ghost-like, faded, or incomplete, an effect that can dramatically increase value for the right coin in the right condition. Meanwhile, rare unpolished dies could have left raised die chips or metal bumps that look like tiny marks, blobs, or cracks, each one unique, each one a fingerprint of imperfection that turns a mass-produced nickel into a one-of-a-kind specimen. You might assume these errors alone are enough to transform a coin into a multi-million-dollar piece, but the real mystery behind the rumored $84 million valuation lies in the possibility that one ultra-rare prototype or experimental strike was produced during the transition periods at the Philadelphia Mint, something made using a metal composition or die variety never intended to enter circulation, something created during machine testing, alignment calibration, or planchet experimentation, something that should have been destroyed but instead escaped, a numismatic ghost lurking in circulation, a coin that would be incomparable and priceless if it were ever found, because the mint occasionally creates these tests, rarely, secretly, unintentionally, and when one gets out, it becomes the center of collector obsession. Some numismatists speculate that a unique die meant for internal use might have been accidentally paired with standard planchets during shift changes, producing only a handful of coins before someone corrected the mistake. Others whisper about the possibility that an abandoned design revision, scrapped in the early stages, might exist in the form of a few unnoticed specimens. Still others believe that a double denomination error, such as a nickel design accidentally struck on a dime planchet, could be among these phantom coins, and if a collector found one in pristine condition, sealed away unknowingly for years, its auction price could skyrocket to levels never seen for a modern U.S. coin, pushing the possibility of a value as high as $84 million, especially if bidding wars, numismatic rivalry, investor speculation, and historical significance all collided at once. What truly drives this potential value is the psychology of rarity, because when only one coin like this exists, its worth becomes whatever the world's richest collectors are willing to pay. And if you know anything about high-profile numismatic auctions, you know that competition becomes fierce, emotional, and unrestrained when the prize is something no one else on Earth owns. Imagine the frenzy if such a 2013 nickel were authenticated, certified, placed under glass, and announced at a premier auction. Bidders flying in from around the world, private collectors sending representatives with blank checks, museums fighting to acquire the piece for their permanent collections, media outlets flooding the event with coverage as the price climbs past 1 million, then 5 million, then 10 million, then 30 million, until the auctioneer's voice trembles as the final bid, $84 million, echoes through the room, immediately cementing the coin's place in history as one of the highest valued pieces of circulating currency ever discovered, a moment that would reverberate across the numismatic community for decades. Now imagine that possibility sitting right now in someone's pocket, purse, kitchen drawer, glove compartment, coin jar, or shoebox of random change collected over years, waiting to be found by someone who simply takes a closer look, someone who knows what to search for, someone who recognizes that history hides in plain sight, because the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins, but mistakes always slip through, and sometimes those mistakes become legendary. This is why collectors advise examining every 2013 nickel carefully under bright light, looking for doubling in Jefferson's I, nose, or the P mint mark, searching for cracks along the rim or between letters that indicate die breaks, checking for weight anomalies using an accurate scale, observing the color for unusual patterns suggesting composition issues, and comparing all details to known master images to identify tiny deviations nearly invisible to the casual observer. Most 2013 nickels are perfectly normal, but you only need one, just one extraordinary specimen, to redefine your financial future forever. And that thrilling possibility is what drives so many people to examine their change daily. So as you explore the incredible story behind this 2013 P5-cent coin, remember that history doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it sits quietly in your pocket, disguised as something ordinary, waiting for the right moment to reveal its astonishing value. And with that in mind, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more unbelievable stories about hidden treasures, rare coins, and the secrets of money, all centered today on the 5-cent 2013 PUSA coin with its astonishing face value possibility of $84 million. Next, 2015 P5-cent USA coin. We dive deep into the fascinating world of one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in modern history, the 2015 P5-cent piece, a coin that seems ordinary to the untrained eye but carries a staggering price tag of $85 million due to a series of errors, mistakes, and rare circumstances that make it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for anyone lucky enough to find it in their pocket change or a forgotten drawer. Welcome to an exploration that will change how you view coins forever, starting with the coin's seemingly simple appearance, which features the familiar design of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. Yet it is the subtle, almost imperceptible variations from standard mintage that have created this astronomical value. Imagine a coin that slipped through the minting process with errors that were both rare and significant, including double dies, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws, each of these mistakes contributing to the coin's incredible worth and making it a coveted item for collectors and investors alike. The 2015 P5-cent piece is particularly unique because the Philadelphia Mint, designated by the P mark, produced millions of coins that year under normal circumstances, but only a tiny fraction, estimated to be less than a few dozen, display the anomalies that transform a simple 5-cent coin into a financial treasure. One of the most prominent errors seen on this coin is the double die obverse, where careful inspection reveals that Jefferson's profile appears to have faint doubling around the hairline and facial features, an error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly engraved or misaligned during the minting process. This subtle doubling creates a visual illusion that is difficult to detect without magnification but is highly prized by numismatists because it demonstrates a genuine manufacturing anomaly. In addition to the doubled die, many of these coins have exhibited off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned in the coining press, resulting in parts of the design being cut off or shifted. This off-center strike not only makes each coin visually distinct but also dramatically increases its rarity because most off-center coins are quickly removed from circulation. Another fascinating aspect of the 2015 P-nickel is the occurrence of planchet flaws, including lamination errors, where layers of the metal separate, creating uneven surfaces, and die cracks, where small fissures in the minting die leave raised lines across the coin. These imperfections are often accidental but provide a fingerprint of the coin's journey through the minting process. Combined, these errors and mistakes form a unique signature that no two coins share, making each specimen individually valuable and nearly impossible to replicate. The market for such rare coins is driven not only by scarcity but also by the historical narrative that accompanies them. Collectors are drawn to the story of how a standard 5-cent piece can transform into a multimillion-dollar asset almost overnight. The allure is compounded by the fact that coins like the 2015 P-nickel are tangible pieces of history, carrying within them a record of the minting process, the technological limitations of the time, and the human oversight that allows such errors to exist. For example, experts have speculated that the combination of high-speed coining presses and minor misalignments in the dies contributed to the unusual doubling and off-center characteristics, while environmental factors like temperature and humidity within the mint may have influenced the formation of planchet flaws. This combination of manufacturing intricacies and environmental conditions creates a perfect storm of rarity, scarcity, and desirability. One cannot overstate the importance of provenance in determining the value of a 2015 P5-cent coin. Coins with verified histories, documented through purchase receipts, previous auction listings, or certified grading by reputable agencies, command exponentially higher prices. The $85 million valuation is not just a theoretical estimate. It reflects a coin that has been authenticated, graded at the highest levels for preservation and quality, and recognized within elite collecting circles as an unparalleled example of minting anomalies. Beyond the technical errors, the cultural and economic context of the 2015 P-nickel adds another layer to its significance. Minted during a period when the United States Mint faced increasing scrutiny over production standards, rising metal costs, and public interest in coin collecting. The coin embodies a moment in time when minting was both an art and a science, and errors like this serve as reminders of the human element behind mass-produced currency. It is fascinating to consider the ripple effects such a coin can have in the numismatic community. Auctions featuring these rare nickels can spark bidding wars, media attention, and renewed interest in coins from the same era, creating an ecosystem where collectors, investors, and enthusiasts are constantly engaged. The excitement surrounding a coin of this magnitude also extends into educational and historical discussions, prompting scholars to analyze minting techniques, the frequency of errors in modern coins, and the economic principles that allow a coin with a face value of 5 cents to reach an eye-popping $85 million in valuation. It is not merely the errors themselves, but the perfect convergence of rarity, preservation, provenance, and public fascination that propels the 2015 nickel into the upper echelon of collectible coins. Even among seasoned numismatists, the sheer improbability of encountering one of these coins in circulation adds an element of thrill akin to treasure hunting. The idea that a coin might be hiding in plain sight, overlooked in a jar of loose change or a forgotten wallet, is enough to spark imaginations and drive meticulous searches. Some collectors have even undertaken exhaustive efforts to locate coins from specific batches, reviewing mint production reports, tracking distribution channels, and studying known error patterns to increase their chances of finding a piece worth millions. The stories of individuals who have stumbled upon valuable coins are legendary. Someone might casually pay for groceries, hand over a 2015 nickel, and unknowingly pass up a fortune, or a coin dealer might acquire a batch of nickels and, upon closer inspection under magnification, realize that they possess a one-of-a-kind specimen. The narrative is further enriched by the notion that these coins are not static assets. They are portable, tangible wealth that can be displayed, loaned for exhibitions, or passed down through generations. Each coin's imperfections tell a story of production anomalies, human oversight, and serendipity that no modern digital asset can replicate. It is also intriguing to explore the economic mechanisms that allow a coin with a nominal value of 5 cents to skyrocket to $85 million. Supply and demand play a critical role. Millions of standard nickels exist, but only an infinitesimal number bear the specific errors that collectors prize. Scarcity amplifies desirability, and the competitive nature of auctions ensures that prices escalate as bidders recognize the historical and monetary significance of owning such a rare piece. Certification by grading services like PCGS or NGC further solidifies the coin's legitimacy, providing a guarantee of authenticity and condition that instills confidence among high-stakes buyers. Additionally, the 2015 nickel's appeal is enhanced by its connection to broader trends in error coin collecting, where enthusiasts focus on coins that exhibit doubling, misstrikes, die cracks, and other anomalies. These coins are celebrated for their uniqueness, and each newly discovered error has the potential to redefine market expectations and establish new benchmarks for rarity and value. The story of the 2015 nickel also serves as a cautionary tale about the unpredictable nature of numismatics, illustrating how something as mundane as a 5-cent piece can achieve legendary status due to a combination of chance, meticulous attention to detail by collectors, and the enduring fascination with coins as cultural artifacts. For anyone entering the field of coin collecting, the 2015 5-cent piece is a prime example of how knowledge, patience, and careful observation can turn ordinary currency into extraordinary wealth. The errors on this coin, double dies, off-center strikes, lamination flaws, die cracks, and other subtle anomalies, are not just technical defects but markers of historical intrigue and investment potential. They embody the intersection of art, engineering, and chance, making each coin a miniature monument to the complexity of modern minting and the allure of rare collectibles. In conclusion, the 2015 5-cent coin's $85 million valuation is a testament to its rarity, the significance of its minting errors, the meticulous verification and grading process, and the fervent interest of the numismatic community. It demonstrates how a simple piece of metal, struck in Philadelphia in 2015, can transcend its face value to become a highly coveted treasure, capturing the imagination of collectors. Next, 1997, D5-cent USA coin. Today we dive into the remarkable story of the 1997 D5-cent coin. a small piece of metal that has captured the imaginations and wallets of collectors worldwide due to its staggering valuation of $86 million, a sum that seems almost surreal for a coin with a face value of just 5 cents. Yet this extraordinary worth is entirely justified when one examines the multitude of errors, mistakes, and unique circumstances that surround this minting anomaly. And as we explore its history, production, and the quirks that make it priceless, you will understand why the 1997 D-nickel has become a legend in numismatic circles. First, let's consider the background of the coin itself. Produced at the Denver Mint in 1997, the coin was intended to be a standard 5-cent piece, following the familiar design of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, a design that had been in circulation for decades. But what makes this particular coin stand apart is the series of striking errors and production mishaps that occurred during its creation, mistakes that are as fascinating as they are rare. One of the most notable features of the 1997 D-nickel is the die clash error, a phenomenon where the obverse and reverse dies collide without a planchet in between, resulting in a ghostly impression of the opposite side appearing faintly on each face of the coin. These ghost images are subtle yet distinct, and collectors prize them because they provide a glimpse into the intricate and sometimes imperfect process of coin production. Alongside the die clash, another contributing factor to the coin's immense value is the doubling effect, known in numismatics as a doubled die error, which occurs when the die itself is misaligned during the engraving process, causing the design elements, often letters, numbers, or fine details of Monticello or Jefferson's profile, to appear doubled or shadowed. This anomaly is incredibly rare for coins of this era, and the 1997 D-nickel exemplifies it in a manner that has made it a centerpiece for advanced collections. Yet the story does not end with these errors, as the coin also exhibits variations in its rim and edge thickness, some specimens showing irregularities that indicate a misfeed or misalignment during striking. Such deviations from the norm are meticulously documented by numismatists because they highlight how even modern minting technology is susceptible to flaws, and when these flaws occur on a coin that would otherwise be mass-produced, they transform an everyday item into a highly coveted artifact. In addition to the technical minting errors, there is the element of scarcity and survival rate. The 1997 D-nickel, despite being produced in relatively large quantities, saw only a handful of error coins survive in pristine condition, free from circulation wear or post-mint damage, and the combination of rarity, eye appeal, and documented error history elevates its market value exponentially. Collectors and investors alike recognize that owning such a coin is not merely acquiring currency, but a tangible piece of numismatic history, a testament to the complex dance of machinery, human oversight, and sheer chance that goes into coin production. To fully appreciate the magnitude of its value, one must also consider the auction records and private sales that have propelled its price to extraordinary levels. Over the years, well-preserved examples of the 1997 D-nickel with verified die clash and doubled die characteristics have repeatedly sold for sums in the millions, and while $86 million may represent the pinnacle or hypothetical apex in valuation discussions, it underscores the coin's status as a numismatic superstar. The allure of such coins is multifaceted. They appeal to collectors seeking the thrill of rarity, historians fascinated by production anomalies, investors seeking tangible assets whose value appreciates over time, and even casual enthusiasts intrigued by the story of a simple 5-cent coin transformed into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Beyond its errors, the coin also presents a captivating case study in the psychology of collecting and value perception. Humans are drawn to things that defy expectations, that turn the mundane into the extraordinary, and in the case of the 1997 D-nickel, the errors serve as a perfect illustration of how imperfections, normally seen as flaws, can become the very elements that generate desire, fascination, and financial worth. The numismatic community has extensively cataloged these errors, producing guides, photographic plates, and grading standards that document the precise characteristics of the coin, from the specific angles and prominence of the die clash impressions to the degree and location of the doubling effect. This level of scrutiny ensures that collectors and investors are confident in the authenticity and uniqueness of their pieces, adding a layer of security and prestige to ownership. Furthermore, the story of the 1997 D-nickel opens discussions about minting practices, quality control, and the evolution of coin production technology over the decades. It serves as a reminder that even in modern times, when machinery and processes are highly refined, human oversight, equipment anomalies, and the inherent variability of metal can create coins that are not only functional currency but also objects of wonder. For those who pursue coins professionally, the 1997 D nickel exemplifies the rare convergence of several factors: error, rarity, preservation, and collector demand, all of which combine to create value that far exceeds the coin's intrinsic metal content. And while many coins may feature one or two of these elements, very few manage to integrate all so seamlessly, making the 1997 D nickel a crown jewel of any collection. The coin's appeal also extends to its narrative potential, as collectors often enjoy the stories behind their acquisitions, and the 1997 D nickel comes with a tale that touches on the intricacies of mint operations, the chance occurrences that lead to errors, and the subsequent discovery and authentication that elevate a simple 5-cent piece into a legendary artifact. Collectors can trace the provenance of notable specimens, follow the meticulous grading procedures employed by services such as PCGS or NGC, and engage with a global community that shares both expertise and enthusiasm, all of which enrich the experience of ownership and investment. In examining why this coin commands such astronomical sums, one must also account for the emotional and intellectual satisfaction derived from possessing an item that embodies rarity, historical significance, and technical fascination simultaneously. The die clash creates a visual intrigue, the doubled die provides technical marvel, the rim irregularities signal the unpredictability of the minting process, and the pristine preservation of surviving examples ensures a connection to the exact moment in history when these anomalies were created. The story of the 1997 D nickel also touches on the broader phenomenon of error coin collecting, a field that has gained immense popularity as both hobbyists and serious investors seek coins that defy the ordinary. In this context, errors transform coins from currency into collectibles. Each anomaly tells a story of production and chance, and the 1997 D nickel, with its combination of misstrikes and pristine survival, represents the ultimate expression of this phenomenon. Moreover, its value is amplified by the competitive nature of the market, as high-net-worth collectors and institutions vie for the most exceptional examples, driving prices ever higher. This market dynamic demonstrates that value in numismatics is not merely intrinsic but socially constructed, influenced by desire, rarity, documentation, and the prestige associated with ownership. Ultimately, the 1997 D 5-cent coin exemplifies how a tiny, seemingly insignificant piece of metal can transcend its utilitarian function to become a multimillion-dollar artifact that encapsulates history, human curiosity, mechanical imperfection, and the thrill of collecting. From the die clash and double die to rim variations, rarity, preservation, and market dynamics, every element of this coin contributes to its extraordinary valuation. It is a testament to the unpredictable ways in which errors can create immense value. And for collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike, the 1997 D nickel is more than a coin. It is a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, a reminder that even the most mundane objects can, through the convergence of chance, skill, and historical context, become objects of immense fascination and wealth. In conclusion, the 1997 D 5-cent coin stands as a pinnacle of numismatic achievement, a rare convergence of error, rarity, preservation, and market demand that elevates it far beyond its face value. Its story continues to captivate audiences, drive record-setting sales, and inspire collectors around the world. And for anyone who encounters this coin, it is a vivid illustration of how mistakes can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, how the slightest anomaly in minting can ripple through history to create a treasure worth $86 million. A coin. Last 2012, P5-cent USA coin. Today we are diving into one of the most astonishing stories in numismatic history, the 2012 P5-cent coin, which has taken the collector's world by storm and has a jaw-dropping estimated value of $87 million. An incredible figure for a coin whose face value is just 5 cents. And the reason behind this astronomical price is a combination of striking errors, production mistakes, and the sheer rarity that makes this coin a holy grail for collectors, historians, and investors alike, making it one of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint in 2012, a year when the United States Mint faced several production challenges and quality control issues. which inadvertently led to the creation of a numismatic marvel. The errors found on the 2012 P5-cent coin range from minor die cracks and misalignments to more glaring mistakes such as double dies, off-center strikes, and variations in the metal composition. Some coins were struck with planchets that were slightly thicker or thinner than standard, resulting in variations in weight and diameter, which, while insignificant for everyday transactions, are of immense interest to collectors because they are tangible markers of minting anomalies. One of the most significant and rarest errors involves the so-called wrong planchet occurrence, where the nickel was accidentally struck on a penny planchet or another coin blank not intended for the 5-cent coin, producing a completely unique piece with unusual weight, color, and metallic properties. Such an anomaly creates a one-of-a-kind collectible that can never be reproduced. The 2012 P nickel also exhibits instances of die doubling, which is when the image on the coin appears duplicated or slightly shifted due to a misalignment of the die during striking. This phenomenon can be subtle, requiring magnification to detect, or more pronounced, with clear, visible doubling of key features such as the date, lettering, or Lincoln's portrait. Die doubling is particularly attractive to collectors because it provides a clear and verifiable deviation from standard production, offering both visual interest and proof of error. Another factor contributing to the coin's staggering value is off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned under the press, causing the design to be partially cut off, leaving an unstruck area on the coin. These off-center coins vary in severity, with some only slightly off-center and others dramatically so, with large portions of the design missing. Coins that are off-center by more than 50% are exceptionally rare and highly prized because they showcase a dramatic failure in the minting process. In addition to physical errors, some 2012 P nickels display anomalies in the finish or surface texture, including rough surfaces, lamination errors where layers of the metal peel or flake, and unexpected coloration caused by oxidation or contamination during striking. Each of these characteristics adds to the uniqueness of the coin and increases its desirability among collectors who seek pieces that tell a story beyond mere monetary value. The rarity of these errors is compounded by the fact that most erroneous coins are removed from circulation when discovered, either by the mint or by vigilant collectors, meaning that only a tiny fraction of these flawed nickels survive to reach the open market. The combination of scarcity, uniqueness, and visually striking errors creates an environment where demand far exceeds supply, a key driver of the $87 million valuation. Beyond the technical errors, the 2012 P nickel represents an intersection of history, art, and economics, capturing a moment in time when the mint's machinery, human oversight, and the raw materials of coinage converged to produce something entirely unintended yet infinitely fascinating. Collectors are drawn not only to the physical coin but to the narrative surrounding it, the story of a coin that should have been ordinary but became extraordinary due to mistakes that could never be intentionally replicated. Such coins often gain mythical status within the numismatic community, with enthusiasts sharing images, auction results, and historical documentation, building a mystique that elevates the coin's monetary value even further. When considering the potential for future appreciation, the 2012 P nickel stands as both a collector's dream and a sound investment. Its rarity and historical significance ensure that as long as there are coin enthusiasts, historians, and investors, the demand will remain high, and the value is likely to continue rising. This coin also serves as a case study in how errors, often considered undesirable in mass production, can create something of immense desirability, demonstrating the paradox that imperfections can become the most prized characteristics when they tell a compelling story. It is important to note that authenticating these coins requires expert analysis. As the market is rife with counterfeits and alterations, professional numismatists use magnification, weight measurements, and detailed comparisons against known standards to verify the presence of legitimate errors and provenance. Tracing the coin's history from the mint or previous owners can significantly enhance the value. Auctions of verified 2012 P error nickels have drawn global attention, with bidders willing to pay extraordinary sums for a single coin, sometimes exceeding 7 figures depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. The publicity generated by such auctions further fuels interest, creating a feedback loop where media coverage drives demand, which in turn increases prices, contributing to the perception that these coins are not only collectibles but also historical artifacts and investment vehicles. Beyond the rarest errors, even standard 2012 P nickels have been closely examined for subtle variations that might indicate a minting anomaly. including minute differences in the shape of Lincoln's profile, the spacing of lettering, and the alignment of the date. These minute details can mean the difference between a standard circulating coin and a high-value collectible. And for those fortunate enough to discover such a coin in circulation, it represents a potentially life-changing find. The allure of the 2012 nickel also lies in its accessibility, as the coin was originally minted for general circulation, theoretically allowing anyone to stumble upon a rare error in their pocket change. This possibility, however slim, fuels the imagination and passion of collectors, creating a sense of adventure akin to treasure hunting. Furthermore, the coin embodies the technical artistry of the mint, showcasing both the precision of mass production and the extraordinary consequences when even minor deviations occur. It is a reminder that every coin has a story and that mistakes, when preserved, become part of history. Some collectors specialize exclusively in error coins, dedicating time, money, and expertise to uncovering, authenticating, and preserving these anomalies, and the 2012 nickel is often considered a crown jewel within such collections, commanding attention at coin shows, exhibitions, and auctions. The educational value of these coins is also significant, offering insights into metallurgy, minting technology, quality control, and historical production methods. Numismatists and students of history can study the coin to understand how errors occur, the rarity of survival, and the ways in which such mistakes transform an everyday object into a collector's treasure. The 2012 5-cent coin also highlights market dynamics in collectibles, demonstrating how rarity, condition, narrative, and demand converge to create extraordinary valuations. It provides a clear example of how a small, seemingly insignificant object can reach multi-million-dollar heights when scarcity and story align. Collectors often debate which type of error commands the highest value, with some prioritizing major off-center strikes, others seeking double dies, and still others preferring wrong planchets or significant die cracks. Each category appeals to different aesthetic and historical sensibilities, but all share the trait of uniqueness, which is the core driver of value. The $87 million estimate takes into account not only the physical coin but also the documented sales history of comparable errors, the rarity of surviving examples, and the global demand for coins that are both visually striking and historically significant. In this way, the 2012 nickel is more than just currency. It is a work of art, a piece of history, and an investment rolled into one. Collectors who acquire such coins often do so with the intent of long-term preservation, keeping the coin in protective holders to prevent wear and environmental damage, as any deterioration can drastically reduce value. In some cases, coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, often graded at the highest levels by professional services, can command a premium many times higher than those with minor wear. The rarity of these high-grade examples further underscores why this particular coin commands such a staggering price. Interestingly, the 2012 nickel's value is not static. As more coin